The Tampa Bay Buccaneers took down the Washington Commanders. 37-20 was the final score. Dan Quinn is a defensive-minded coach. And when he was hired by Washington, I thought that this defense was going to be improved. But this defense looks as bad as what it did under Ron Rivera, man. At one point in this game, they had Baker Mayfield looking like Tom Brady 2.0. And I'm not making this up. Like, at one point during this game, Baker Mayfield couldn't throw an incompletion to save his life. He had 12 straight completions at one point. I mean, he was absolutely cooking Dan Quinn's defense. 24-30, 289 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. This was a flawless performance out of Baker Mayfield. The Buccaneers also had success on the ground. It looks like they got a pretty good 1-2 punch with Rachaad White and Bucky Irvin, who I loved a lot coming out of Oregon. He's not the fastest, most explosive guy, but he's pretty shifty and has incredible vision. And the only positive that I can say about the Washington Commanders from this game is that Jayden Daniels looked pretty good. He looked better than all of the other rookie quarterbacks that we saw this afternoon. He looked pretty calm, had his composure, and when Todd Bowles was sending pressure at him, I thought he handled it pretty well. But the offensive line, on the other hand, oh my goodness, if you don't do something with this offensive line, you're going to end up running Jayden Daniels probably 200 plus this season, man. You got to get this brother some protection because he ain't getting no help from the big fellas up front in this game. He was running for his life all afternoon. And the only way the Commanders were really able to move the ball downfield was when they were running the football with Jayden Daniels and Brian Thomas, or not Brian Thomas, but Brian Robinson had a pretty good game as well. Those were the only 2 playmakers the Commanders had. You need to add some more weapons in the passing game for Jayden Daniels to throw the football to, because the key is, and Luke McCaffrey, Terry McLaurin, they obviously aren't enough. And, this is just a really disappointing game if you are a fan that roots for the Commanders. Because, with Dan Quinn being a defensive-minded coach and how good his defenses were the last couple of years as the DC for the Cowboys, you don't expect for Tampa Bay with a new offensive coordinator and Baker Mayfield learning a new system that just looked completely flawless in this game. There were a lot of quarterbacks this afternoon that were struggling. But Baker Mayfield and company, man, it looks like they picked up from where they left off last year. The offense looks more efficient. They were operating like a well-oiled machine. And the last thing for Washington that I got to nag about is, why the hell do you continue to throw out Emmanuel Forbes? This dude is not good. He had 2 penalties on 1 play, a pass interference call, and a damn face mask penalty, man. How much do you got to see out of Emmanuel Forbes to know that this dude sucks at football? Maybe he doesn't suck at football, but he definitely sucks at corner. Just move this dude to safety. Stop wasting your time throwing Emmanuel Forbes out there, because the only thing that happens when Emmanuel Forbes is on the field is that your defense gives up easy touchdowns because offenses are running whoever offense on him. If you are an opposing quarterback and you see Emmanuel Forbes enter the game, you automatically have to target his side, man, because something good is always going to happen for you when you throw out Emmanuel Forbes, because this dude is flat out garbage. For the life of me, I don't understand what the hell the Commanders were thinking when they drafted Emmanuel Forbes over Christian Gonzalez, man. That was one of the stupidest decisions that I've ever seen a team make in recent memory in the NFL draft. It was pretty obvious that Christian Gonzalez should have been the pick. What are you doing drafting this damn 2 pick in the first round at corner? I mean, come on, man. This was a pathetic performance that we saw out of the Commanders defensively today. I mean, the Bucs could not get stopped at all offensively. They only had about 1 or 2 drives when they didn't score in this game. They were lining up the scoreboard all afternoon in Raymond James Stadium. I mean, this was embarrassing, just completely embarrassing.